Hello and welcome to Unite 2018 right here in Berlin, Germany. We are here.
It's so exciting and the buzz in here is electric as the keynote room is filling up.
Hi Liz McCurry.
Hi Will Goldstone, what are we doing here?
We are doing the pre-keynote live stream. We're counting down for the next 15-20 minutes until the keynote kicks off.
I'm so excited about this. We've got a great keynote for you this evening. We've got some familiar faces for you. So our CEO, John Mercatello, is going to be here.
Of course.
And we also have Timothy West, who is from our XR team, Unity Labs.
Super cool facial recognition tech, but I'm spoilering already.
Minimal spoilers, minimal spoilers.
But you're joining us here on the stream. We also want to hear from you on the stream, so please do shout out any questions that you've got in the chat. We have some top secret screens in front of us that are going to be showing us questions from the chat, and we're going to try and get to them if we can. But they're also there to give us questions throughout the whole keynote. So our community team is going to be here to answer any questions that you've got on the keynote throughout the whole thing. So please do let us know if you've got anything you want to ask. So there's some familiar faces here. There's also going to be some new faces that you might not have seen before.
Absolutely.
Michael Buckner from our XR Labs, sorry, not XR, from our Labs team doing character animation, has some super cool tech to show off. And our designer, Nicolina Ho, is here to talk about our improved prefab system.
I cannot wait for that. It's going to be pre-fabulous.
It is going to be pre-fabulous, you're right.
So excited about tonight, but it's actually been a really exciting month for Unity, right?
It has been a very exciting month, you're correct. So this month we kicked off with the Augie Awards, 9th Annual Augmented Reality Awards, and we won the Best Developer Award.
That is amazing.
Best Developer Tool. No big deal, but more importantly, 6 Made with Unity titles also won awards.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and I'm
one
really
you're very excited about.
One of my favourites. So the IKEA app won the best consumer app, right?
You love the IKEA app.
I do. I like to bring out a bit of my inner interior design.
But in the real world,
it's abysmal.
Okay, cool. And also big shout out to Gravity Sketch, which won the best consumer app. No, it didn't. IKEA won that. I'm totally wrong. Best creator and authoring tool. So shout out to them. They're here, right?
Yeah, they're actually here on the show floor.
Typical.
I meandered past them earlier.
You did.
And that's not all right. So we were on the keynote stage at Apple's WWDC.
Yeah, the Book of the Dead demo.
Yes. So we had the Book of the Dead real time on MacBook.
And then, of course, E3.
Let's
not forget E3.
How could we forget about E3? Did you have any cheeky highlights?
I love a bit of E3. I love GTFO at E3. They're also here on our keynote. Spoilers. But you love a bit of Ori, right?
Yeah, I just can't say the new title.
Yes, you can. Try it.
Will o' the Wisps.
Ori and the Will-o'-the-Wisps.
Ori and the Will-o'-the-Wisps.
Yeah, they had a beautiful trailer. It's up on
great.
YouTube. It's 4K, 60 FPS. Looks amazing. Go and check it out. And today, here in Unite Berlin, we kicked off this month, the big event, Unite Berlin, with Training Day. You were there, right?
Oh, Training Day was amazing. So our focus this year was 2D. So we did a lot of 2D wizardry. That was headed up by Mike Geig and Mr. Andy Touch, who's from our content team. So we were doing 2D tile maps. We had some 2D Cinemachine, all using Pixel Rain's great platformer, Robbie Swifthand, which is also here on the show floor.
Yeah, and if you obviously can't join
at the Unity Roadmap, we have a session on that we're going to be live streaming to you. More on Book of the Dead and optimization. And also some more of this prefab workflow enhancement.
I don't know anything about prefabs. There's nothing to do with prefabs. Don't talk about them.
There's some love for Ori on the chat this evening.
There is a lot of love for Ori on the chat.
If you have any questions, please do pop us those questions in the chat. We would like to hear your thoughts, and we'll answer your questions. That's the kind of people we are. We're nice like that.
It's true. This month we also have, and this is a first for Unite Berlin.
Oh my goodness,
we also have the Autotech Summit, right?
Yeah, please tell us more. Tell us more.
We do. We have basically the whole autotech industry is coming for a whole bunch of talks, reveals about how they're using Unity.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So there's people from Volkswagen, Lexus, Ford, Daimler, Renault, just to name a few. And the great thing about that, and especially for the crowd here, is that everyone who's got everyone who's got Unity skills and are checking out all the latest features and PBR for rendering and all these kind of new things like HD render loop, they have all these transferable skills. So this whole automotive industry are really interested to talk to Unity developers. And we've actually got a quick preview of what Lexus have been doing with some super nice looking car rendering. So let's have a quick check out of this real-time render from Lexus. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you are watching the Unite Berlin 2018 keynote. We're here, and we're joined by a very special guest.
Hello.
Hi, Aurora.
Hi, my name's Aurora Demopoulos. I am the producer on the content team at Unity, and we're responsible for example game projects and all the tutorials on the Learn site.
Super cool.
Amazing.
So you're in the education content team. You just shipped something pretty important, right?
Yes.
Tell me about it. It's 3D game kit.
Yes, we just shipped the 3D game kit. It's a collection of game mechanics, elements, and scripts that you can put together and design a game using our assets without any code.
Super cool. And they're actually going to be sneak peek using some of that in the keynote, right?
Oh,
We
yes.
can't say what, but we can say
It's very
that they're
cool.
going to be showing it off. So we're having a little look at the game kit right now. So tell us what we're seeing.
So currently we're looking at the second level, so the project is shipped with 2 example levels that we've built using the kit. So everything drag and drop, you can connect doors and buttons together to be able to design your own levels.
And
Super
so can developers take these assets and put them in their own games? Can they?
Yes, absolutely. You can take all the assets from the game kit itself and you can take a look at them, pull them apart, and also use them yourself.
And where can we get the game kit?
So currently you can get the game kit on the asset store. You can also go onto our Learn site in the tutorial section. You'll be able to see the 2D and 3D game kit. And also right now, I believe, on the asset store, if you go just to the landing page, there's a big banner where you can easily access them.
Super cool. So what's next for your team?
So we're working on more learning content, and we're also, towards the end of the year, going to be creating some brand new 2D and 3D games for you to be able to learn from start to finish.
Awesome.
That sounds
Aurora,
fantastic.
thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you so much.
And keep making more cool things. I
Thank you.
expect the 4D game kit next year, right?
Yes, and then 4.5D.
Yeah.
That would
Absolutely.
be incredible. I can't
Awesome.
wait.
Thanks. Well, for those of you just joining us on the live stream, we are Keynote Pre-note. We are here to
Pre-note.
count down. And there's just a few minutes left. We've got about 6 minutes left to count down to the keynote. It's getting hot in here, right?
It's really warm.
It's
but
getting
the
warm.
buzz is amazing. I'm loving it. And I'm also loving this this lighting.
Yeah, this is actually real-time volumetric fog that we've got going on.
Some
It uses the HD renderer.
Post-processing V2.
Yeah. So the keynote is coming up any minute. We have the demo team producer Sylvia, she's here.
I'm so excited about
AI
that.
research engineer Michael's here to talk about character animation. Super cool. Can't wait to show you that tech. Suhail Dutta from our cloud services team is here to show you some amazing new online stuff, which again I'm not allowed to spoil. And a super cool feature from Madfinger Games. They're here to
Absolutely.
talk about the new Shadowgun Legends.
So please get comfortable. You're in the right place. And if you have any questions about anything that we've gone over in the pre-note this evening, the upcoming keynote, pop them in the chat.
Yeah, our whole
Because
community
we-
team is going to be here. So
Yeah.
keep asking us questions. If you've got anything that you're looking forward to seeing, I could see some comments from the chat already. I can see that Six says, OMG, the graphics.
That's
I
for the game
assume-
kit,
I assume
right?
they're talking about our makeup, right?
Oh, gotcha.
Must be.
HD here.
HD. So we've got a whole bunch of cool stuff coming up in the keynote. We're going to be showing a whole bunch of games, tools, cinematic experiences. And the Made with Unity showcase here is kind of representing everything that's come out lately and is just, it's just some amazing cool stuff that we've got to play and get our hands on.
I think one of the coolest things as well that we've got a little sneak preview for is actually the creator of XCOM.
Yeah, Julian Gollop, original creator of XCOM, and his new game, Phoenix Point. Let's check it out.
Let's have a look.
We've got 2 minutes, so we're going to... And we're back with Matt Shell
Hi.
from the Online Evangelism team. Hey, Matt.
Hello.
The voice, the legend.
So you may not recognize Matt's face, but you definitely recognize his voice.
Yes, that's me. Hello.
From live training. But you're not doing live training anymore. You're now doing online user groups, right?
That's right, yeah. So we have a monthly event that we're doing where we're covering multiple topics. So we have the next session coming up next Wednesday on June 27th at 8 p.m. GMT. We're going to be talking to Kerry Turner from our enterprise support department on how you can make your games more performant. Yep. And we also have an interview with TJ Hughes, who's making an awesome food art game called Noor, which I'm super, super excited to share with you all. Awesome. And then we also have a feature presentation tutorial, which we can talk more about after the keynote.
Amazing.
Cool, awesome. I'm actually hearing that we're running out of time because we're about to run into the keynote. So, Matt,
so where can we tune in? Quick, where can we tune into the online news group?
You can find us on Unity Connect.
Yes.
Go to the events page.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Okay, we're ready.
Goodness. Thank you.
It's nearly keynote time. We're counting down.
I can't believe it.
Are you excited?
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm so excited.
Calm down. Everybody be calm.
The room is filling up.
The room is full.
And it's getting a bit crazy.
Everybody's ready.
Here. I think everybody's ready. I don't think it's just me that's excited about these prefabs.
So yeah, keep talking to us on the chat. Keep giving us all of the different questions that you've got throughout the whole thing. We have some nice comments from the chat. Someone recognizing the Space Pirate Trainer shirt.
Yeah, shout out to Will. Someone says, Alexander says, Will, you looking good?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's brilliant.
Okay, so we're just hearing there's 20 seconds left until
20
the keynote
seconds.
starts.
Oh my goodness, we've got so much good stuff lined up for you.
15.
15 seconds.
This is very exciting.
Only 15 short seconds. 15 short seconds until we are going to reveal to you all of this Unity goodness. Quick recap, what we got coming up.
Doesn't matter. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do a keynote.
Keynote go.
I got my first computer when I was 6 years old.
I was really young.
6th grade. Somebody showed me 2 lines of BASIC and I fell in love with this idea.
My thing is music. I want to build the ultimate interactive music system.
I'm actually trained as a oil painter and traditional artist.
My parents are both circus artists.
Unity, it's the sum of all these parts. First time I heard of Unity, a company with a vision, it was technology guided by that vision that actually worked and delivered on its promise. And I thought, I need to be part of that.
And I pretty quickly got the democratization and the openness, and I saw it as the future.
To make creation accessible, the first thing you need to think about is removing roadblocks.
The space was not approachable and unaffordable.
Oh, I have to write a rendering engine. Oh, I have to write an animation system. Oh, I have to figure these things out. Oh, there's a lot of math. We've taken care of all of that.
Solving hard problems, I feel like, is kind of the engine that makes it all go.
If you have to worry about nothing else than what you're actually focusing on, what you're actually passionate about, then there's no way you are not going to succeed.
Not just provide them with the
very sophisticated piece of software, but also provide the support that is required to, sustain in that industry.
Unity believes that everyone has the right to create.
Whether it's indies, AAA companies.
You don't want a barrier between you and exploration.
A couple of kids in Cambodia could use software like Unity to produce the #1 mobile game for many years.
So you see Unity being used everywhere.
A lot of people are coming and seeing us and say thank you.
People can quit their day jobs and focus on what they are truly passionate about.
Our tool enables them to do that. I've never seen that anywhere else.
I've been working at Microsoft, Amazon, Uber. Unity is a different place. Yeah.
Coming from Indonesia.
A city called Zonguldak.
Maryville, Tennessee.
Plymouth in England.
Copenhagen, Denmark.
Roseville, California.
Горнозаводск, Россия.
À Montréal, au Canada.
With technology, it democratizes the world in a way.
I'm an enabler, but in the best possible sense, in that I want to enable people to make the things that they dream about.
Creators are the pace setters, the dreamers, those with an imagination, and we are here to support them because we think the world's a fundamentally better place with more creators in it.
Please welcome John Riccatello.
So, guten Abend und willkommen in Berlin. For those of you on the live stream, hello and welcome. It's great to be back in Europe, where we started almost 15 years ago. This time we're in Berlin, a dynamic city and the culture epicenter of European game development. There are so many amazing developers here in Germany. Take a look back here, and these are just some of the great names. It's a hotbed of creativity and innovation. So thank you for having us this week. Today you'll hear about the latest innovations coming from Unity in 2018. First, Timothy and Jonah will show you our new AR authoring tools. These let you easily build apps that truly augment reality. Michael will demo a true and powerful AI automation system that generates smooth, natural-looking animations quickly and efficiently. And Timothy and Natalie will share a new example of facial performance capture, using augmented reality as a tool to pre-visualize and animate a scene. Ralph and Lucas will give us an update on Unity's small runtime that allows you to tackle new projects, small file sizes, extremely quick load times. Ingrid will dive into new approaches to best engage you with your players. And Isabel will show the latest and greatest products and games created by you and your teams. And then, we've got some big news. As part of this, Sohail will share our plans to help support you with amazing tools for connected games. But there's going to be a big surprise and a special guest we're going to introduce towards the end. I think you're going to love it. So stay tuned to the end, but enough from me. Let's dive into AR.
Please welcome Timony West.
Today, some of the most interesting, innovative, and popular applications are made using augmented reality, and we love them. And even if you haven't played Pokemon Go or tried Wear AR, you've probably used a filter to send a photo to a friend or tried out a 3D sticker. Unity Labs has always focused on how we can help the content creators of the future. Specifically, the Authoring Tools group is focused on XR, virtual reality, mixed reality, and augmented reality. We want to help augmented reality creators make experiences more quickly, and we want them to be able to make more awesome experiences, which is why I am so excited today to tell you about one of our latest projects. It's called Project Mars. Mars is a set of specific tools. It is a Unity extension that lets you create apps that truly augment reality, apps that live in and react to the real world. And this includes everything. This includes the mobile AR and mixed reality of today, all the way to the headsets of the future. Our motto for this project, reality is our build target. In other words, we don't want you to just think about building to a device or building to a console. We want you to think about how you can make apps that actually live in the real world, apps that work the way that we want augmented reality to act. Context-aware, flexible, customizable, works in the space. So to demonstrate Mars today, we're going to be using elements from Unity's 3D game kit. Game kits are ready-made games that let you put together your own levels without needing to code. And we give you everything. We give you characters, we give you good guys, we give you bad guys, we give you animation, and we give you game mechanics, so you can jump right in. So we're going to be using this game kit to give you a sneak peek of Mars. But to do that, I want to introduce Jono Forbes. He's a UX lead on Mars. Go for it, Jono.
Thanks, Timothy. I'll start by making a simple face mask. Here in the scene view, I have this 3D face bust, and I have a project folder with a few assets from the 3D game kit. For starters, I'm going to bring the hair of our hero character Ellen and drop it onto the head. Now I'd like to introduce one of the new features in Mars, which is the simulation view. In this view, right now I have loaded up some videos of some of our teammates, and I can use their faces to see how this mask will work. I can even use my own face through the webcam.
Good luck. Like it.
Thanks. Let's get some crazy horns on here. Cool. Notice that as I drag content onto the face, I'm getting some feedback from landmarks here, like my mouth or nose or eyebrows. And if I drop stuff on them, then it'll track with those features of my face. All in the editor. All right, off to a start.
Of course, this is Unity, so you can build some really beautiful and creative masks. Like this one. Yeah, that's good. Great look.
Thanks.
OK, so the face tracking that you see here is from a third-party provider, You'll See. You can download the plugin on the Asset Store today. But I want to talk about what's cool about the simulation view. The best part about the simulation view is that you can put whatever face tracking technology that you have right in there. So if you have an iPhone X, if you have a Visage, if you have DLib or OpenCV, you can put that into the simulation view and test however you want. In fact, Mars is flexible from the ground up. We created it so that it could take in different data types that are useful for AR. And this includes things like geo information, object recognition, anything that relates to how the real world is seen by computers. We want you to be able to author against that directly. Mars will open and support an ecosystem of AR technology providers.
We're also giving you sets of templates and simulated rooms that you can use to try your content out against a whole lot of different environments right in the editor. Now, the key here is that designing for AR is fundamentally different from traditional game design, because instead of having a level designer craft out your whole world from scratch, the real world is your level design.
And Mars is designed to help you solve this enormous challenge. So let's show you how. Let's look at an example of how you can use Mars to create an experience that's more contextually aware. OK, so here we have the editor again, and you'll see that we have the simulation view open again as well. But this time you'll notice that we don't have a face. Instead, we have a room. You'll notice that the simulation view also has its own hierarchy. That's because these game objects are not in your game. They're just there for you to test it against. So we also have a set of new AR-specific gizmos. And these let you draw out different parameters that are related to spatial awareness, things like proximity, plane size, elevation, and distance relationships. So you'll also notice that in the inspector, we have a new type of object. This is called an AR object, and you can use the inspector to also add these spatial parameters. But let's go back to the scene view. So the cool thing here is that you don't need to code in order to do this. You can actually just draw out the minimum and maximum bounds of any of the parameters that you want to have. So for example, here you can see that Jono is determining the minimum and maximum plane size. As he does this, it'll update in the simulation view, so you can see how your app would actually look if you were in a space like that. And this is important because this way, if you have a game or if you have spatial UI, you can test and make sure that it'll work again and again.
So let's say that this spaceship is sort of the key asset in my level that I want to make sure my players can reach. So I'm going to start setting up some requirements for where it can go. I'll start with the elevation and say it should be between a couple centimeters off the ground and a meter, around there. All right, it's popped onto this dresser over here. But I can also say that I want the minimum size of that surface to be a little larger than that. Cool, now it's on the bed. I can even say it should be like all the way as big as this bed. So now let's try this in a few different environments and see how this would react. So right away here in the living room, yep, I'm seeing that the spaceship actually hasn't appeared. And if I look in my sim hierarchy, I see that the dropship has this gray icon next to it. And that means that the requirements that we've set aren't met by any of the surfaces in the scene that we're trying out. So as an AR designer, this is super crucial information for me. That means I need to either go relax my conditions or set up some fallbacks.
So before Mars, it would be almost impossible to set up even these relatively simple set of conditions without coding. And frankly, even if you do code, it's kind of a pain. We made a prototype of this before we started work on it last year, and this is the amount of code that we had to write in order to get something similar. By contrast, you can do this in about 3 clicks in Mars. So with Mars, you can now create complicated, multi-plane experiences in augmented reality that work across a variety of spaces, and you do not even have to leave your desk to check it out. So there is one more thing we'd like to show. But for this, we're going to need a cinematographer. Do we have a cinematographer in the house? All right. This is Matt Schoen. Matt Schoen's the integration lead on Mars. OK, so we've set up a demo on a phone because we want to give you a taste of what it's like to actually build an experience with Mars. So you see we're going to use an iPhone here, but you can use this with any equivalent device with the AR tech stack.
We have the full scene open here in Mars as well. And this demo includes reasoning about 3 different planes. We have 2 tables and a floor. We have nav mesh, effects, parametric content, and of course, we've added in some gameplay. Live demos.
And all right, let's see it on the phone. OK, so here we have a game that's been set up to actually go between these 2 tables. Doesn't matter what the tables are. We just put them here for now, but it could be anywhere, and it still adjust. And it could be different elevations as well. Should we try and go back? Actually, can we get another go? OK, this has worked like every freaking time. Want to see it again? OK, let's try this one more time. All right, Sean, come back. Sean, come back to the stage. All right, cool. We're going to try this one more time because I swear to God, it's so fucking cool. I want to show you. It's not scanning. All right. After that, we'll post a video. If it doesn't work this time, we'll keep going.
Check the Twitter.
Almost there?
Works every time.
All right. So... So you gonna make it this time? Oh, yes! We got a full-size version? All right. And we got some life-size bad guys as well. Thanks for your patience. This is it. Multiplane experiences in AR without coding. Thank you very much. All right. That's the beginning. We're going to keep going. And with Mars, you will have the ability to easily create amazing AR experiences. And this is everything from face masks and avatars to entire rooms and cities full of digital art. And we can't wait to see the worlds that you will make with it. So thank you. All right, so we just showed you one of many different ways that you can use AR and VR experiences that you can build across a multitude of platforms. But the usefulness of these XR capabilities goes way beyond the ecosystem that you even see here today. In other words, you can use XR as a tool for many different types of content. For example, film and in-game cinematics.
Please welcome Natalie Grant.
For the past couple of years, AR and VR have begun powering the process of how films are made. Like a location scout putting on a VR headset to find the perfect spot, or a globally dispersed team collaborating next to each other in a virtual production. But one of the most remarkable uses of XR in filmmaking is virtual cinematography, connecting a physical camera on set to a digital camera in Unity, so you can shoot CG content with your hands, the same way you would a live-action film. And advancements in graphics capabilities have enabled really detailed environments and characters we can emotionally invest in. Like in Sonder, a brand new short film that just made its world premiere debut today, right here at Unite Berlin. Woo! But let's come back to augmented reality. Here is a new workflow for facial animation that takes a fraction of the time. Let's say I want to animate this character here. This beautiful character. I have an iPhone 10 right here. And if I look into the depth camera, you'll see the mesh on my face, which is working with all 52 blend shapes to match my expression to the expression of this character. Let's see it in play mode.
All right. Let me just adjust this. And I'm going to hit play. And you hit connect?
Yep.
All right.
Ta-da!
Aww. With this level of artistic quality, Natalie can have really dynamic and expressive emotional performances. And the data is being piped directly in from a phone straight into the Unity editor. All right, are you all warmed up?
Yep, think so.
Want to do some recording? All right. OK, so you see over here that we have this big record button, and I'm going to hit record now. OK. All right, let's see some sad. All right, how about some surprised? All right, now try to throw some shade. All right, now just how about let's end with a big cheesy smile. All right, we got it. And we're done. Cool, go.
All right.
Away.
It's too bad we don't have The Rock here. We could get a little eyebrow action in there too, but I can't do it myself. So if we select the animation that we just did, we can actually make sure that we captured it. And it looks like we did. That's great. I can actually bake this animation clip directly from the component. And that's really important, because what it allows me to do is retarget the stream or update the character without having to redo my performance, which is super convenient if you have a scene with lots of characters. And I actually have a particular shot that I want this animation to go into. So let's go ahead and turn on Cinemachine. And let's turn on Timeline as well. And you can see this track second from the top here where the animations can go. Get this, all I need to do is drag the clip that I just made directly onto timeline, and now that performance is part of my cinematic.
Oh, before we do the playback, I recorded a little wink earlier. Can we include that in the playback?
Oh, sure. I see that right here. So for continuity, I'm actually going to blend both of these performances from two different people into one fluid animation.
Tighten up a little bit.
Yeah. There we go. And we'll just scrub through here, get this guy all set up. And let's take it from right about here. We like the surprise face. I heard people laugh at that. All right, here we go.
Oh, my goodness. That's so cute.
All right, how was that? So I just saved myself days, maybe even weeks of work using augmented reality as a tool. With facial mocap this accessible, anyone can take advantage of this workflow and start creating cinematic content fast enough to keep up with your ideas.
Awesome. Thank you, Natalie. All right, let's keep talking about animation for a minute. In addition to XR, creation tools, and graphics, the labs team also has an AI team that has been hard at work figuring out how we can use machine learning to improve animation. And I know just the man to come out and talk about what he's been doing.
Please welcome Michael Butner.
Oh, I'm going to follow you, actually.
For years, I've been working on a really challenging question. What if you could create your game without worrying about setting up complicated animation rules, creating transitions manually, or creating nested state machines? What if you could just focus on creating your beautiful animations, and Unity could do the rest for you?
Right. Traditional animation workflows require you to explicitly define every transition. I'm sure that Unity animators, specifically animators and programmers who work on this, are very familiar with having to build complex animation graphs that look something like this.
So we set out to create this radically different animation system that would not rely on any superimposed structures like graphs or blend trees. Instead, it would use only the information that is already provided in the animations themselves. Imagine you can tell the machine what to achieve, not how to achieve it. Like, for example, here, hit my opponent with a sword, or vault over this obstacle over there. And you just focus on creating your beautiful animations without worrying about creating transition points or matching poses. We set out to create a motion synthesis system that would do exactly this. And this is Kinematica. I'm going to give you a sneak preview of a brand new experimental package coming to Unity later this year.
This sounds amazing. I know that animation problems like this are always very hard to solve at scale.
Exactly. It is crucial for a system like this to be able to scale. And we wanted to prove that our system could deal with an extremely large amount of totally unstructured data, like, for example, motion capture data. So we hired a stuntman who specializes in parkour moves. We rented out a motion capture studio for a couple of hours. We had him run around the gym and perform his tricks. And then we brought all this data into our system. And this was a great stress test. Now we are going to show you Kinematica in action. Timony is using a gamepad to show how easy it is to control our character. The system has been built from the ground up for handling player-controlled characters, because those are the most challenging for any kind of animation system. But of course, you can use the system for NPCs too. For a person playing the game, the character always needs to feel responsive. This is very, very important. But for game developers, we also want the characters to, of course, look good. And this often comes as a trade-off. And that balance is what usually requires a lot of tweaking and back and forth between animators and programmers. And remember, you still get to decide, based on your game design, what the capabilities of your characters are. You even have the power to tweak how the animations interact with the environment. Unlike traditional animation systems, Kinematica maintains all the animation clips in a single library. Some of those clips can be very, very short, like, let's say, 30 seconds long. Others can span several minutes. It then decides automatically and in real time how to combine tiny little fragments from this library into a sequence that matches the controller input, the environment context, as well as your gameplay requests. Animation quality was a major pillar when we were designing this system. So we will never alter the original animations or the quality of the data that you as an animator provide. In this example here, we're using more than 70,000 poses, which corresponds to roughly 45 minutes worth of animation data, which you can see Timony looking here at in the editor. And I just want to remind you, although we were using for this test a very, very large amount of data, motion capture data, you don't have to do this. You can just as well use regular short animation clips, which you don't even have to subdivide into little segments. You can animate your character in a simple long example sequence, and our system will find the necessary bits and pieces to assemble together. The benefits of Kinematica come down to this: a higher quality, polished look, versatility in that numerous variations can be determined from the same set, and of course, not having to manually map out any animation graphs, meaning you can iterate faster and you have more time to focus on your art. Ultimately, bringing machine learning into the animation workflow to give animators more power.
Welcome, Ralph Howard and Lucas Meyer.
Wow. Wow, you are an awesome audience. I hope I don't disappoint. Hey, I get to talk to you about the small. Unity has always been there with you, providing you with the tools to take your games to new platforms and new technologies. With each new device and platforms, we see a growing player base, an audience, a new opportunity for your games, be it on PC, be it on console, be it like those mobile games in that fantastic trailer that you just saw. But now we're seeing a new emerging platform, messaging apps. We're still in the early days of messaging apps as a platform. There's a lot of opportunity there. People can play with their friends in a seamless, social, and accessible way. But there are 4 challenges. For games and messaging apps to really take off, we need 4 things. First, you need excellent creation tools. Second, you need small deployments and quick load times for instant starts. Third, you need easy, simple integration across all messaging platforms. And last, while we all love making games, it's even better when you get paid for it, right? To help you target these new platforms, we've built a new small runtime with a modular architecture and compression technology that allows you to deploy fast and light games. This technology enables you to build games for messaging apps in the Unity editor that you know, with the assets already you have, creating new types of projects with those short load times. For those short load times, you need small file sizes. So let's compare. The average streaming file on the internet, the music file on the internet, is 4 megabytes. The average web page you're looking at is about 2.4 megabytes. Unity's new core small runtime is 72 kilobytes. So that's enough for me talking right now. How about we take a sneak peek at how we create these experiences? And for that, with me is Lucas Meyer, my longtime friend and colleague.
All right, let's do this. I have a Unity editor open here. It might look familiar, I hope, if you're here. We have the hey, David. I have the project window open here. My audio files. So these small projects, they use the same asset database and asset importer that you used to. I have the scene view that you also know. I can select my Flappy guy here and hit F, and all these things kind of work. So there's a lot of things that look the same, but there's also a few things that are a bit different. For instance, on the right side, there's all these new components or different components. They look a little bit different. What's up with that?
These are specialized components for this small runtime. The modularity of this runtime means that this is a different set of components that use the same assets, the same sprite that you already have, with similar functionality to what you have before.
All right, so a few more things that are different, like this bar over here. This is also new, right? What are we looking at here?
Well, first and foremost, this is still early, so it won't end up like that. But if we look at the modules pane, maybe.
OK, yep.
So here you see a set of modules that sit on top of that core runtime that allow you to basically say what you're using and what you will be using. And this is super important if you want to be small. You get to actually opt in rather than getting everything piled on.
OK, so I guess for Flappy we have, what is it? Like audio, HTML, physics, no particles, no text.
No text in this one. We actually use sprite maps for that.
All right. OK, so let's take a look at what it would look like if I hit play, which makes a build. And since we're targeting a messaging app, it actually makes a JavaScript build, HTML build. And I can go here and go whoop, whoop. Let's see if I'm any good at this.
Almost.
Why they still let me do these demos is beyond me. I don't know.
Me too.
OK, so for games like this, what kind of file sizes are we talking about?
So if we go to the tab that says Build Report, then we can actually see, in this case, what a development build looks like in total size. But
so that's like a meg uncompressed and 240 compressed, is that right?
That 240 is what actually goes over the line to the player.
Okay.
That's the total amount of size that goes over the line before you can play the game.
And I guess you can go here and see what's actually in there. So a bunch of audio, and I guess this is my modules, right?
That's the runtime with all the modules for this game, including all the assets.
OK, so 240K for this game. That's not so bad, right?
Well, it can be better, so we'll have a look at the release build.
OK.
Now we're below 200K for a full game.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Not bad.
All right, has anyone used this technology in the real world so far?
Yeah, we've been testing with a studio, the studio Working Man, who we gave early access to this new technology to show you what they've built. Lucas, how about you open up to your messages?
All right, so since we're talking about messaging apps, I got a message here from my buddy Vlad. Where is it? Yeah, here. And I guess the first thing to notice is that there's no install. Right? I just click it, and it opens in my browser. And the other thing to notice is how fast it loads, which is obviously only possible because of the small runtime. There's a boss here somewhere at the end, but after that Flappy incident, I'm not sure if I'm going to embarrass myself any further.
While you're trying to make it to the boss, how's the performance, Lucas?
So I'm not sure what it's on the screen there, but here for me it's about like this looks silky smooth. I guess this is just a solid 60 FPS.
Actually, I'm pretty happy to hear that, and that it's running smooth. The technology is made to run from low-end phones to high-end phones as smooth as possible. Not only are we focusing heavily on the file size, we're focusing heavily on the performance. This can go anywhere.
Okay, so we've seen this technology being used for playable ads and now for messaging apps. What's next?
Well, while most messaging games today are best delivered in 2D HTML, we're going far beyond that with native deployment and 3D. So with this small technology, we're thinking big. And if I can tell you about big, I'm thinking about IoT, watches, car dashboards, the AR glasses of the future. But we're your engine team, and we're there with you. So instead of me thinking where we could go, you should tell us where you want to go. Share with us your big ideas for this small runtime. Sign up there. Thank you.
Please welcome Ingrid Lesdio.
The most important number in mobile games is 1. To deliver the best player experiences, we need to enable you to create game experiences for a cohort of 1. Every player comes with different skills and interests. What if you can tailor a game for each of these players? What problems does this solve? Well, we ask you, what keeps you awake at night? And we receive tons of answers. One key theme stood out, though: how to build a business. We heard everything from retention, to will I get enough downloads? And how can I make enough money from this to continue following my passion? Somehow there's this perceived trade-off between building a business and player joy. But what if we don't have to compromise? At Unity, we've seen that if you can tailor your game experiences to each individual player, you do not have to compromise. With personalized placement, through signals from thousands of games and billions of players, you can build for a cohort of 1. We built a machine learning system that optimizes for lifetime value, which is really revenue and retention. At any point in the game, a player could see a tutorial, a cross-promotion, an in-app purchase promotion, an ad, a notification about new features, tips and tricks, and so on. Our prediction engine makes a unique decision for every single player. Essentially, we empower you to deliver the most impactful content at any point of your player's journey. We partnered with Max Games, the creator of Stick Wars, a game with 500,000 daily active users, as well as a select number of developers on this solution. In just 45 days, we saw a 10% increase in lifetime value. This is incredible. And not only were these players more engaged, but they returned to the game more frequently. And we're just getting started. The beauty of machine learning is that these things keep getting better over time. And this doesn't have to stop with content. Imagine the same personalization applied to store design, characters, scenes, and more. At the end of the day, though, the magic of your creation engagement, and monetization are all interconnected. And none of these exist without putting player joy at the heart of everything. Helping you achieve this balance is the challenge that we wake up every day passionate about solving. Thank you.
Please welcome Sylvia Rasheva.
You have seen the teaser for Book of the Dead, the project that Unity's demo team has been working on throughout this year. And we have also showed you the playable Book of the Dead running on console. But here in Berlin, you get to try it yourselves. You can see it running on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. You can go check it out at our partner booths. The demo projects that we create internally allow us to push the envelope of what is possible to achieve with Unity today and get it to do even more. But many of you wonder how to create similar projects. So while we continue to work on the larger story of Book of the Dead that we have yet to tell, we wanted to also share with you some of what we have so far. So I'm happy to announce today that the environment from Book of the Dead is now available for you to download as a project on the Asset Store. Let us show you what you will find in there.
All right, so I have the project open in my browser here. What I've done is I just went to the Asset Store tab here. It's live right now, so you can just click download and follow along at home. This runs all on your own machine. So what you get in the project is a complete game level. It has a bunch of different environments, all connected. It has audio, different levels of details for the assets, occlusion culling. It's the whole thing that comes together. Now, Book of the Dead, it uses the HDPR, the high definition render pipeline. It's one of the 2 scriptable render pipelines that we ship at Unity, and it uses many of its features to come to life. And there's a few things about this project that I would like to show you today. So I guess one of the things, you might have seen me walk around before, if you're just walking around the scene, there's so many things that you can just look at and stare at. It's sort of, when I practice backstage, I just look at these things forever. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to try to find a shot where the light comes from the back and where it really sort of lights up this foliage on the ground. Because the way it achieves this look is through a feature called transmission in the HDPR. To illustrate what it does, let me just turn it off. So I have this slider over here for the transmission. If I bring this all the way down, like this, you can see that the scene becomes almost, almost gray and pale. And it really shows that it's these small things of the light hitting the back of the leaves and that making the leaves almost glow is what gives you this really nice, lush look. Another thing that I love to demo in this project is that it's all dynamic. There's just this tree over here. Let's take a look at that guy. Actually, it looks better if I do it like this. So if you ever wonder if it would make a sound if a tree falls in an empty forest like that, you can just... Nope. Is that settled? Or maybe he needs a little friend. I can make a few copies and just walk around. And maybe I move it a little bit. So I like to demo it like this to illustrate that it's really not that it's really not a sort of static thing that cannot change, but that you can move all these things at runtime. It's also a scene, I'm sure if you make games that look like this for a living, you know that to make them, you have to do a lot of dirty tricks, bend the rules, break the rules, and this project, we sort of show all the ways that we broke the rules and bent the rules and little corners we cut, so you can see all our tricks that we use to get this look.
Yeah, and to help you out even more, we are also sharing our own creation process in a series of articles that you will find on the website. But also in the package, there is a scene where we have laid out the assets that are used there so that you can easily see them. Yeah, sure.
When Sylvia showed me this for the first time, I was like, Sylvia, where's the rest? Because when I look at the forest, which is such a large area, and at least I don't see any sort of repetitiveness anywhere, it turns out that these are all the assets that were used to make a scene like that. And the funny thing is, if you just make sure that your assets are really high quality, it turns out you can make a really large environment that looks amazing with very few of them. Can you talk a little bit about how, like, if someone would want to do this or make their own of these assets, how they would do that, or how we made these?
Yeah, so some of these assets come from Quixel's library Megascans, and some were made internally in-house with the help of photogrammetry. You can use all of them in your projects if you want. Should you need more high-quality assets, more Megascans are available on the Asset Store. The project is based on the latest Unity 2018.2 beta. You can grab it from the Asset Store and build yourself a playable for any of a range of platforms. Have fun.
Please welcome Isabel Riva.
At Unity, we're not focused on making games. We're focused on solving hard problems that make our creators more successful. And you, the developers, have been raising Unity to new heights. We're so inspired by what we've seen this year. And over the next few minutes, we're going to show you some projects in development. We're going to check in with some inspiring game makers and show you some new tech. But let's get started with the latest chapter in the Oddworld franchise. The creator, Lauren Lanning, couldn't be with us tonight, but we've got a great video.
My name's Lauren Lanning, and I'm the co-founder of Oddworld Inhabitants. Oriental carpets, pinball machines, Steinway pianos would be in that collection up here. Aircraft through the ages, ships through the ages, submarines, ocean vessels. These things are always critical to us because we build the whole world. And now we're working on our soon-to-be-released Soulstorm, and we're building it on the cloud. We're here based in Emeryville, California. One of the things we're excited about with Unity is that they're building the functionalities that's letting us think more like a film director on a virtual set. That's super exciting because in a world that needs to run in real time, is the content rich enough to transcend between what is a game, what is a movie, what is a television series? And many times in production, we just look at each other and we go, why isn't it crashing? You know, I mean, sometimes we're running so much on screen at one time. As the technology improved, the fidelity of the images improved. So the future is nonlinear and linear off of the same data sets. Walt Disney created something that he stayed with forever. Hanna-Barbera did it, Jim Henson did it, and I wanted to do that too.
Please welcome Adam Myhill and Onat Hekimoglu.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So, Onat, you're the designer and co-founder of Slow Brothers. It's a small game studio, indie, right here in Germany.
Yes.
And you've got some great news. You just signed a publishing deal.
Yes, we have just signed with Curve Digital, and we're super happy to announce that.
Yeah. I'm hardly surprised, because when I first saw this, it's such an amazing concept. It's a game, but it looks like a stop-motion movie. It's called Harold Halibut. Let's take a look. That's so cool. Oh my God.
Thank you.
How did you do this?
Well, we love stop motion, and we love the physicality of handmade things. So we use wood, clay, and metal to build all our game assets in the real world. We then use photogrammetry to scan everything. By the time one model is game ready, the whole process took us more than 2 weeks.
So you built everything by hand, models, scanned them, brought it into Unity.
Exactly, in a workshop.
Amazing. How did you do the animation?
Oh, it's running already. Well, we actually motion capture most of our animations, and we can even have a live preview in the Unity editor. It's really useful to stress test the rigging and get a feel for the characters. And it also looks cool in making of videos.
It looks like a lot of fun. So we know you're in 2018 using the package manager. What packages did you use?
We used the new HD render pipeline, Cinemachine, and the post-processing stack, and they all work beautifully together. Awesome. Let me show you something.
Great.
OK, so we are at the entrance of the Agora arcades now. I have a timeline here, which blends from a gameplay camera to a cinematic camera. I can craft the settings, the mood of each shot individually. Let me add some bloom to this. OK. Is it on? It's actually.
It's really hard to see the screen.
Sorry, the screen went off.
Oh, no. Here, you can see it right on this guy right here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. OK. So let me add some bloom to this. Looks better now. Now, when I move from one room to another, I trigger that timeline that I just showed you, and I blend from one mood to another.
OK, so let me get this straight. You've got a gameplay camera, which can be anywhere. You go through the trigger volume. You trigger timeline. That will blend to your cinematic camera. And your cinematic camera has a custom post-profile stack on it.
Exactly. And I can even scrub the timeline and change the settings in play mode. Let's add some contrast to this, for example. And immediately see the change and get a feel. Yeah, and immediately see how it feels.
And because you're blending in, you can be anywhere in gameplay. Like this doesn't matter where you are. You'll just seamlessly blend to that. I love how you're sculpting these shots and crafting. You've got like so many different rooms and so many components.
We actually use timeline for a lot of things in gameplay. It's such a versatile tool.
I know there's a pile of dialogue in your game. How did you do that?
Well, we use a Cinemachine state-driven camera for that. Let's go to the bar. Do you want a beer?
Yes, please.
OK, so with the Cinemachine state-driven camera, we are able to bind shots to animation states. Let me open the animator here. I'm too short, actually. It's not so easy to look over here. I think it's OK. OK, so and here is the state-driven camera. Now, you can see how I've set up the state-driven camera so the animation states trigger the shots that I want. Now, when I talk to Tommy here, you will see how the state-driven camera automatically switches between these two shots.
OK, so let's trace this. Your animation state is going through state-driven camera and Cinemachine, and that's calling the camera. So your animation duration is dictating how long the shots are. So you're getting like a procedural edit.
Exactly, and it does all this automatically. You can imagine how long that would take to do that manually. We have like hours of dialogue in the game.
That's a beautiful use case. You know, I'm going to make an observation here. You're using timeline for gameplay, and you're using gameplay camera tech for your cutscenes.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Let's skip this.
So you've been in HDRP for a month or so now?
Yes.
What are your first impressions?
Well, it's amazing. It looks beautiful, and it actually solves so many problems. Let's walk over to another part of the set here, the general store. OK. So we are in the general store now, and what I want to show you is, we always had problems with transparency sorting. And since we moved over to the HD pipeline, you can see these multiple layers of transparency here, the chamfered edges of the glass, and it all just works as it should. It looks like glass.
Of the glass.
Yes. It's a double-sided material, actually.
And did you have to do anything to set that up?
No, it was like that out of the box.
It's beautiful, and how you've crafted each of these vignettes, and the weight to the air, the glows. I notice you have this on a lot of your lights. You're using volumetric lighting. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. Let's move to we're actually using the volumetric lights everywhere. You can see it around the lights here, and in the background, what looks like water is basically also volumetric lights. But there is one specific feature I want to show you. This is the arcade. Oh, Captain Barinhold is playing the flight simulator again.
It's beautiful.
So there are these density volumes, which I can use to specifically, let's move there. So that's the box you see here below. And I can use these density volumes to adjust the density of the air in specific parts of my set, basically. Now I want to get a moodier, get it moodier in here, so I changed the setting for this. That was a little bit too much. And you can see how I can craft the mood of this room here.
And you've placed these in the world, just peppered the world with these volumes.
Exactly, yes.
That's beautiful.
It's really amazing. I mean, I could go on talking about the HD pipeline for hours, but the colors look beautiful, the lights just behave as they should, and it actually feels like shooting with a superior camera. It just looks right.
I love that analogy. You've got such innovation here, Onat. Congratulations. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Please welcome Russ Scammell.
I'd like to introduce two powerful new features for 2D development. One for world building and one for animation. To show these tools in action, we'll be using a delightful project by Zoink Games, the creators of Faye. This is Flipping Death. This is a fantastic platformer that mixes classic 2D gameplay in a 3D world. And this is going to be available on the Nintendo Switch this summer. Let's take a quick look.
From the creators of Stick It to the Man comes a new adventure with an innovative flip side.
Ugh, smells like wet socks in here.
Did the ice cream just talk to me? Possess and control the living to help the ghosts with their problems.
Got any super glue?
Where's that Dr. Laser? Yeah, baby!
He wasn't even a good kisser.
Why am I doing this?
Wow, I love it. That was awesome. Now, this is a level built using Sprite Shape. Sprite Shape is a new world-building tool that gives you the freedom to build organic-shaped worlds. It gives you the power to sculpt and bend your sprites using a smart, fast, and visual layout system. I want you to notice how the objects in the world adapt when I reshape the level. Now, this works really great with the 2D polygon and edge colliders, making this a compelling tool for building 2D worlds. Next up, let's bring our sprites to life with our new 2D animation system. This toolset makes it easy to set up skeletal animation and offers a smooth workflow for creating simple animated characters that consist of a single sprite. The sprite rigging workflow is based on a tight iteration loop. It gives you easy bone creation and editing. You can tessellate your mesh manually and automatically. You can paint weights to connect the bones with the vertices. But most important of all, you can preview all of this while you work. Let's look at this. With the rigged sprite in the scene, I can generate bones and set up my IK. And I'm now free to animate all of this by moving the bones or the IK effectors. Let's take a look at the final result. I love this walk animation. She's got so much attitude. Thank you. We have a strong suite of 2D features. This includes the new SVG importer as part of our vector graphics package. And pixel perfect, so you can ensure that your pixel art remains crisp and clear on different resolutions and on a wide range of devices. All of these features are available as preview packages right now.
Nicolina Hurt.
We're so humbled to see that our tools are customized for every kind of vision. Already we've shown you a game that looks like a Wes Anderson movie. We've shown you a classic platformer in a wacky cartoon style. But now we're going to talk about a first-person shooter on mobile. Please welcome the CEO of Madfinger Games and the creative director of Shadowgun Legends, Marek Rabas.
Hi, guys, and thank you very much for inviting us.
Thank you for coming. We love this game. It's super fun to play. You released it on mobile earlier this year, and it proves that Madfinger Games are experts in the design of high-quality graphics for touchscreens.
Thank you.
Yes, but listen, you're not new to this. You've been doing it for a while. I think you've been using Unity for what, like 9 years?
Yeah, that's true. We are using Unity almost for a decade. And it's because it's a very nice package of the technology and services, so we can focus mainly on the games. But we also built a very nice relationship with you guys, which is very helpful, to be honest, because you are helping us to optimize our games, but we are also giving you back our feedback, also honest, and also real test cases, how we are working with your technologies.
Absolutely. If you're power users of Unity and we're getting the learnings and giving them back to the community, that's fantastic because you're great at graphics. So let's take a look at Shadowgun Legends right now. This game was downloaded over 5 million times. It was a huge hit. The critics loved it. Crazy scores across the board. And you're thinking of making it now completely co-op. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this is true. There is a lot of content and activities already that players can enjoy. But our main goal is to create full online experience. So this is why we are converting more than 200 single-player missions to cooperative mode. So all players can enjoy full game with their friends together.
Wow, 200 missions with friends. That sounds like super fun. Listen, I think you have one other announcement to make, right?
Yeah. I am so proud and happy to announce that Shadowgun Legends will be released on Nintendo Switch.
Woo! That's great. Listen, you told me something backstage. I want you to share with the group today. How is the porting going?
It was a big surprise for us because we received our dev kits on Wednesday, and by Friday we had game up and running at 60 FPS locked.
Wow.
So it sounds really promising.
That's great. Congratulations, Marek. And congratulations to the team members in the audience from Madfinger Games. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. So we have another shooter. This one's terrifying. It's playable with 4 people, but it's being made by only 8 in Sweden. Very excited about this one. I want you to take a look at a clip.
You got anything? Door for the trace. Everything trains. Oh, fuck. To be honest, any...
Please welcome the creative director of GTFO, Ulf Anderson! Woo! Thank you.
Thank you.
Ulf, you started a new studio, 10 Chambers Collective, and this is your first title. Everybody loved the trailer when it went out at the Game Awards last year, and you just tore up E3 with your latest playable. So tell us how it's been. Like, tell us how it's coming along.
It's been great. Like, this is a game that we've been wanting to do for a long time. I mean, it's sort of, the vision is to try to get people to where, sort of what I felt when I saw Aliens the first time, you know?
Yeah.
To get it that to such a creepy sort of mood, so you really want to play together, you know? It's
Right.
a cooperative game, so
Yeah.
it's all about bringing people together.
And it's great because...
Sounds very happy.
But
like
in
that,
horror
but it's
movies, you play as a team.
I guess.
Otherwise, you know, like several of you get knocked off, you got to stay together. So I guess that's also part of the game. Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so I want you to take a look at a video that Ulf has brought us. It's exclusive tonight. It's a sneak peek at some gameplay nobody has seen before. Take a look.
Motion tracker is picking up something. Something real close.
We got contact! Light him up!
I can't see them! All over the place! Where? I'm gonna fight you back for you!
Wow. So intense, really, really actually scary. How did you achieve the atmosphere and the lighting of the game?
It's done with a sort of a custom cluster render, a lot of volumetric light and that kind of stuff. We worked a lot on that, you know, to make it, get it, again, with the mood and everything, you get that sort of Aliens feel to it, that sort of,
Yeah.
you know.
You've been at it for like 3 years now?
Yeah, about.
Yeah, well, it's looking okay. I think you might make something out of it.
Yeah, maybe.
So you're excited about the graphical results, as we are as well. What are the next steps for GTFO?
Well, looking at Unity 2018, we're going to look into the job systems. Also, sort of the scriptable rendering pipe opens up a lot of possibilities.
Okay.
So just getting more juice out of it. More juice equals more gameplay fun for me. So
That's great.
yeah.
So you think it could really make a difference, affect the game?
Really make a difference, yeah.
Okay,
I'm
fantastic.
super excited because I have been working on all the E3 stuff now for quite some time. So
Yeah.
getting back to work basically over the summer is going to be terrific.
Great. Well, we can't wait for you
Or
to ship.
horrific.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we can't wait for you to ship so we can play. Thank you for coming. Thanks, Ulf.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, everybody.
So thanks for all of those incredible games, Isabel, and all the creators. It's great to see so many unique and fun experiences made with Unity. But now I want to switch gears. I'd like to introduce you to a longtime friend of Unity and a personal friend I've known for a few years. You might know her by name. I guarantee that she's impacted each and every one of your lives, whether it's via the latest tech trends in AI, the live stream of this keynote, the smartphone apps in your pockets, and the games we play them on. She's one of the pioneers of cloud computing and was key in making the term ubiquitous. She founded VMware, that's right, founded, sits on the board of Google, and is the CEO of one of the world's largest public clouds, Google Cloud Platform, or GCP. Please welcome me and help me welcome Diane Green to the stage. Diane?
Yeah. OK. Well, yeah, hi, everybody. You have no idea how great it is for me to be here. And I'm so jealous of all the fun you guys get to have. You know, I've been friends with John, but in 2008, I had this idea with a graphics professor friend that we would make this virtual worlds thing. And so the first thing was I went out to scour the world to find a way to build it. And several roads led to this then small company in Copenhagen. And I got an introduction to David Helgeson, and lucky enough to be friends with him ever since. Did not build the company, but now it's come full circle, and I feel like I'm in a position to help you guys, you know, build, launch, grow your games all over the world. And you know, it's interesting. Back then, David was always saying, we're democratizing gaming, and Unity's clearly been true to that for its entire life. And I think Unity may have coined that term in the technology world, and that's kind of what Google Cloud, I say, we're democratizing advanced technology. We're bringing it to everybody in the world. You can, without having to have your own data center, you know, have the resources of a data center. And gamers are so great to work with because you push the technology, you're ready for any innovation, as it's abundantly clear here. So thank you, and really happy.
So I think you know this, but if there's anything Unity knows better than anyone, or at least as well as anyone, it's games. 2D, 3D, mobile, PC, AR, XR, VR, you name it. Many with beautiful art, stunning photorealism. Such a vast range of experiences get built on Unity, as you've seen so far today. But there is a sharp shift in games over the last few years. Something that is more and more important, and something we all have in common. And that is that games connect players with each other. And the cloud is an essential component to fostering that connection. Connected games. Everything from your fast-paced multiplayer FPS to social single-player experiences on your mobile phone. These kinds of games are fundamentally connected and enabled by the cloud. Connected games are without doubt the most influential type of game out there. They're the most played, the most watched, and the most successful. Take a look at some of these numbers. 87% of the games played on Steam are connected. 90% of the games watched on Twitch. And 90% of the top grossing apps on Google Play are all connected. This is something you all know. Creating connected games is hard.
Yep, it's not trivial to create connected games. And when you're creating them, you don't want to think about how are you going to support unpredicted numbers of connected players all over the world. And you need phenomenal infrastructure. And that's what we're doing, managing it 24/7. And so we're working to make it auto magic for all of you, bring it to you, the developers. And we feel so fortunate to be getting to do this with Unity.
So that's why we are thrilled to announce a deep strategic alliance between Unity and Google Cloud.
Right.
We have our slide? It's amazing. Connected games. Now we are working to build out a broad suite of tools and solutions to make building connected games easier for game developers, easier for you. And when we looked at Google Cloud, we were obviously impressed by their technology, the global network, the commitment to open source. But more importantly, we felt that Google Cloud offered the best support for us to build these solutions together. So not only do we believe Google Cloud is the best solution for our developers, but we believe in Google Cloud so much that I'm happy to announce that Unity is also moving our entire infrastructure to the Google Cloud.
All right. Yeah, I'll clap too. And so, yeah, we're pretty psyched, and our engineers are incredibly psyched. They're really enjoying working with the engineers over at Unity. And you know, our idea is to hide all the complexity of this infrastructure and the sysops, and so nobody needs to be a Google Cloud expert. And you know, some of the things that means is, so when you do a multiplayer game, you have to put it in a game server, which goes in a virtual machine, and Google Compute Engine powers these game servers in the virtual machines. And you want them to, you know, if the load goes up, you want them to come up instantly. And so our virtual machines come up in 40 to 50 seconds, which is a fifth the time it takes in the other public clouds. And we have, for the last 2 years, been the most highly available cloud. So that's good. Your games don't go down. And then you don't want any lag in your games. And Google has the world's best network. We've got hundreds of thousands of miles of fiber optic cables under the world's oceans, and these lead the gamer to their ISP, and what that translates to is very low congestion, maximized performance, you know, a very delightful experience that's pretty well guaranteed. So, and then now that you have your connected games with the low latency, you need to find matches. You need to match your players. Multiplayer games need matchmakers. So the other thing I get to announce today is that Unity and Google Cloud have co-founded an open source matchmaking project. Wow. You must have wanted a matchmaking project. That is great. We're releasing it this summer, and this is just a great day for Google Cloud. So happy to be here in Berlin with you, and thank you, John.
So Diane, this is a big day for all of Unity developers all over the world. But making all of this happen requires a deep level of collaboration. And it's so great to see many of Unity's best engineers working side by side with Google Cloud's teams working for Diane. And they're on it, and they're moving, and they're building for you. Now, to show you what we've been collaborating on, I'd like to introduce my colleague, my friend, Suhail Duda. He'll come on and show you how it works.
All right. Bye-bye.
Creating and running connected games is hard. We aim to help you solve this hard problem with two key principles: scalable and approachable. So what does that mean? Scalable, so that you can create your game the right way from day one, whether you have 1 player or 1 million players. And we do this with efficient, high-performance networking and enterprise-grade server hosting. Keep these two principles in mind as Lucas and I give you an early look at what we're working on.
All right, so I have a demo project open here, and I'm going to click my Start All button. Could we get the screen on the big screen, please? Yes. Start all, and it's going to start a server and a client. This black box is my amazing-looking game server, and this is my amazing-looking client.
We've made networking core to Unity, so you can write multiplayer code by default. And there are many kinds of connected games, and they can be quite different from each other when it comes to networking. So we're acknowledging these differences and using a set of archetypes to drive our development. And we'll make these archetypes available to you as templates and samples.
Right, and the project I have here open, actually, this is an early look at our FPS sample. It's a sample that has an environment, but also the low-level networking code. The networking code for FPS-style genre games. Now, obviously, we didn't come here to see me being lonely on my own local server. So let's take a look at what it would look like to publish a build of this server to the cloud. How did you do that again? You go here, and I go to my cloud build history. There's a share button here that you could use to send a build of this game to some friends so that they could help you test. And there's a button here, push to server.
So with just a couple of clicks, Lucas can request a new virtual machine, and this will spin up a new one if he doesn't have one already. We package up and deploy the exact build from Cloud Build that he wants to deploy, and spin up a game server for him so that he can go back to the editor and test it out.
Yeah, so we started up a server earlier today, and fingers crossed, if I click join game, hopefully, here we go. Hopefully, here it is. And if I click that, we'll connect to the game server that we published. And now there's actually a bunch of other folks running around as well. There's a few things about the networking code that I'd like to highlight. One of them is this stat thing. How do you do that? Net, what is it? Net.stats 1. This shows a bunch of debug information. You can see in the left top that the 60...
They've been practicing. They've been practicing.
Yeah, it's kind of rude to headshot me during the keynote, but all right. So the server runs at 60 hertz. There's all sorts of information about your latency, round-trip times. And you also see in the blue, you can see the data payload size per second. So that is about 2,000 bytes right now for this amount of players and this amount of bullets and this amount of them moving around. But of course, you don't only want these kind of like introspection tools on the client side. You also want to take a look at what's happening on the server side. So for that, we can go here again, and I'm going to click the test servers. And then we get, what do we get here, Sahil?
Yeah, so it's just as important to be able to monitor and manage the health of your server fleet. And this here is a graph of the exact game and the server that Lucas was playing on. So the light blue line, that's the number of players in the game. And the black line is your CPU utilization. We're also able to show you memory usage and your logs from the server, so you can debug and diagnose issues in a real environment. All right, let's say we launch our game, and we get 1 million players. How are we going to deal with that? Luckily, we've asked our friends at Google Cloud to help us out. Any ops people in the room?
No, these are game developers.
For those of you that aren't, this is an operations dashboard. I love this kind of stuff. And you see a couple of minutes ago, we asked for a lot of servers. That's the red line going right up. And the green line is those spinning up in real time. So every tick, that's another couple of hundred servers in real time spinning up right now. And speaking of scale...
Whose credit card was this on? 60,000 servers?
So speaking of scale, while we've been talking to you, we have spun up in real time 60,000 game servers that can support 1.5 million concurrent players. That is the power of Unity and Google Cloud. Thank you.
Okay.
So, it's finally over. So, first off, thanks for coming to Unite Berlin. I hope you had a great week. 2018-2, our next release, is slated for this summer. And frankly, I couldn't be more excited. Connected to games by default, reality as a new build target, small is beautiful with our small runtime, big ideas, everything fast and instantaneous, and such an exciting roadmap. All right. Oh, shit! Get over here. What are you doing up here? It had to be you.
You're not going anywhere, John. So, no.
I'm watching. Go.
So, hey, sorry to interrupt the keynote. Two things. First,
You got me.
First, I just needed to break out here to say hi to you guys because this is amazing, and it's been 15 years, and so many good things have happened, and I'm so proud of the work that everyone is doing here, including you, John. And the other reason is that prefabs is sort of a deeply internalized embarrassment of mine and all of us. And you know, I used to run this company for many years, and now John has been running it for a few years. And for over a decade, you guys told us that our prefab system was buggy, and 7 years ago we announced we would fix it, and then we did some work, and we got lost in the design. It's actually really hard to do this right. Instead of pre-announcing it again, I think we should ask Nicoline who is the designer that worked with the engineering team designing the new prefab system, to come out here and kind of show us the design decisions we took, because I think they're really good.
Awesome.
So yeah, let's get.
Hey, for David and After Joachim, our founders, are here. So the guys that made it possible.
But John, let's get off the stage and leave it to Nicoline, who's going to show us
this way?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the work that the team has done.
All
Nicoline,
right.
come on up.
Hi, guys. Woo! Hi, John. Who wants to hear about prefabs, yeah? Woo! Awesome. Yeah. As a designer, it's a huge deal for me to work on prefabs, because they really are those fundamental building blocks that just about any project that we create with Unity is made up of. That's why, when we started redesigning the prefab system, we went out and we spoke to you. We spoke to indie studios, large productions, and we learned that there are two major improvements that we need to do to the prefab system. Number one, we need to add more editing control, so that when you guys editing your prefabs, they're safer to work with. Number two, we need to add more power. We need to add more productivity to working with prefabs. Do you want to have a look? All right, let's have a look. We created this environment using a lot of tree prefabs. And I'm going to go in and work with this one right here in the middle of the scene. But I'm not actually going to edit it in the scene. I'm opening it up in this new isolated editing mode that we call prefab mode. When you're working in prefab mode, you're saving your changes directly to the prefab file. What that means is, if I go in and I scale up this tree, if you guys look over on the left side, you can see that all the trees in the scene are also getting taller. Yeah? Yeah. This gives you really fast iteration and adds a lot of control to your editing workflows. All right, now let's talk about the productivity part. Because, as David was kind of hinting, we've also added nested prefabs. Woo! Yeah. I've got this flower here in my project down here. And I think I'm just going to nest that right now, right? Let's get that nested. So I pull this into the prefab mode, and you see that it becomes part of the tree. It appears next to it. If you look on the left side in the whole environment, you can see that everywhere where I've reused this tree, we've now also got that flower. So that's what we mean when we say that the flower prefab is now nested in the tree prefab. It's become a part of it. So if we dig in one more level, we can work with just the flower. Now, at this point, I would like to add this really cool firefly effect to the flower. As a lot of you know, if I was going to do that in a current version of Unity, I would have to go and manually replace all those flowers, because I've nested it inside the tree, right? But because nesting now works, yeah. We can go in, we can turn on the fireflies, and if you look again in the environment, you see everywhere where we've got the flower, we've got this updating effect, right? Yeah. So, woohoo, yeah. I just saved like an hour of work right here. And if this is a big level, this is a productivity boost of hundreds of hours. So I think this is pretty exciting. Woohoo! All right. The new prefab workflows are scheduled for production for 2018.3. But you don't have to wait, because prefabs are now in preview. Woohoo! Wow. Nice. Yay! Thank you. Awesome. Whew.
All right, we don't know what, but hey, couple things. 2 of our 3 founders are here. Joachim, David's over there, Nicholas is somewhere in Copenhagen, but for the guys that made it possible, you guys are fucking awesome. All you guys, incredible. Congratulations, and thanks for making beautiful things in Unity. It makes us proud.
And that's our show. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, those prefabs, though.
Those prefabs. Do you like the confetti?
I really love the confetti. I imagine they were
I imagine there's probably a lot of people still
prefabs.
picking it out of their hair right now.
Oh my God! Oh my gosh! So, what was your favourite part, Will? Come on, there was a lot in that keynote, a lot of good stuff.
It was a very, very busy keynote. I'm quite excited.
Prefabs.
For me, I think my favourite part was probably Harold Halibut, just because I'm obsessed with claymation stuff, and I think it's a game that you haven't really seen anything built that way before, and it's so cool because it's got that realism, and then it's got the HD render pipeline for all those kind of like AAA game effects at the same time. Amazing, blown away. How about you?
I absolutely loved the AR facial mocap that they used.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. It was incredible, and also using the assets from Sonder as well. I think that was a really nice touch.
Super
I
cool.
can't wait to see what people create with that technology. It's super exciting, and all the 2D stuff too.
Yeah, 2D
I think
stuff.
like sprite shape, 2D sort of animation. That's a big game changer. That's so cool.
Yeah. So just to recap, some of the things that you can pick up. Obviously, pick up nested prefabs. Check out the build. Please do hammer on it. Tell us what you think of it. Give it a go with your own assets and your own projects.
Book of the Dead.
Yep, Book of the Dead. You can pick up the assets for that right now. And there's all kinds of things you can try out. The 2D stuff there is all in preview. And if you go onto the package manager in 18.2 and go to all, you'll see a big list of all these cool features that are coming in preview packages right now. And we do need your feedback. So please do tell us everything that you think about those. Go to the forum, give us as much feedback as you can.
And along with that as well, Unity for Small. Please check that out and give us your feedback on that too. That's going to be exciting. Unity with smaller runtime. We want to hear from you. We really do.
As someone who used to be in kind of like the Flash world of things, like I've wanted us to go to that kind of HTML5 world of sort of tiny assets and JavaScript for a long, long time. So it's super cool that we're providing everything from the HTML5 Unity for small things all the way up to like Book of the Dead, HD render pipeline, and all of that kind of stuff.
It's super cool.
Liz, everybody's packing up here.
Who's going to clean up the confetti? Is that our job?
I think they're going to keep us on the stream so that we can just clean up after everyone. Pretty weird. But thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for interacting on the chat. We've had a great time talking to you all. And don't forget that the live streams are on the next couple of days.
Absolutely.
So you can watch select different streams of the talks that are on here. You don't have to wait. You can watch them on our YouTube channel. So go to youtube.com/user/Unity3D and check out everything that's going on there. And that's it for us.
It is.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Will. It's been so much fun.
Cool. Thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you in Unite LA.
Bye.
Bye.